Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is time for Gigi to come on your screen and come all over you. It's time for gorgeous George to put his hand on the screen, ladies, and molest you. Woo, baby. Woo. I can't do the woo too long because we got other people around here, but I could go woo and you go, oh, and I go, woo, and you go, oh, gorgeous George, you know what I like. Tonight, we are back, and we're back to rhapsodize and tantalize your behind on the dance floor. Make it groove, make it shake. We're going to shake your groove thing till it's all just so right. Tonight, it's Gigi, and it's Kay Lazar. So bizarre. How, Mr. Bizarre?
How bizarre. Remember that song?
Yeah, how bizarre.
Yeah,
So anyway, we are back, and it is gorgeous George. Gorgeous George is here, and so is Kay Lazar.
Finally.
We come from the planet of your choice. We are here to molest and tantalize you. What do we do? What do you want us to do? Well, you can get me a frickin' beer. We are people that can't do that, but we will pee in your beer for you, and you would like it. No, I don't think so. All right, so Kay Lazar, what's going on?
Oh, having a lot of fun. I love the summertime.
You love the summertime?
Yeah.
Are you ready for the holidays?
Oh, the 4th of July holiday is the greatest holiday of them all.
Well, no.
You know
why?
You know why?
Okay, we'll go
Because you don't have to buy any gifts, and you don't have to send any cards, and you get the day off from work.
Well, I'm not talking about the 4th of July. I'm talking about Jismus.
Oh, yeah.
That's the greatest holiday of them all.
And
if you don't know what I'm talking about, well, ladies, you need to know what I'm talking about. When I say happy holidays, well, all you have to do is pick up the book and read, and you'll see why we're coming into the holiday season. July is the holiday season. To hell with the 4th of July. Middle part of July, baby. Merry, Merry Jismus.
How unpatriotic.
And a happy new brassiere.
What are you, a communist? The hell with the 4th of July.
The hell with the 4th of July when you have the main holiday in the middle of the month.
The real birthday for America is actually in I don't know what day it is, but 1789 when the Constitution was created.
All right.
Do you know that when we declared our independence, we were America? That wasn't the end of our problems. That was only the beginning, because we had this. Then we pretty much declared war on England at that point, and it took a few years.
I'll tell you what. I was knighted by the Queen.
Oh yeah.
Did you know that? Yeah. I mean, Paul McCartney was, and Elton John was, and all these rock singers were.
Yeah.
But the Queenie, knighted me.
Yeah.
She said, "Sir Gorgeous George, I bless you. Sir Gorgeous George, you will go ahead and rule the world. You will have my crown once I croak." And I said, "Can you put that in writing?" She said, "Yes, you will be King George." I said, "Well, haven't we had other kings before in Great England or Great Britain?" She says, "Yes, but if you do it right and you put it in the hole, you will be king."
So you're planning to
So
move?
I plan on.
So you're planning on moving there?
I'm planning
that's a good
and
idea.
putting in the hole of the Queen's parking lot.
Then we can collect.
And then I will be king. I'll be the next king of England.
I think we can collect get up a collection to send you to England.
I don't know.
You can sit on the throne
Well, I can
all
sit
day
on the
long.
throne. Anyway. Well, I mean, I have my own throne. You didn't know that?
The throne.
I have my throne.
Yeah.
So you should know that.
Mm-hmm.
And then once again, kiddies, if you're under a rock and you don't know what time it is, it's time for the Gorgeous George Show. It's time for you ladies to put your hands in a good spot and look at me, Gorgeous George, and play with yourselves, and you'll get a lot of secretion coming out just by looking at me.
Yeah.
I could say nothing, and it gets you excited.
You mean like a runny nose or something?
No, it's the other orifice. It's the bottom 5.
You mean like belly button lint?
It's a little bit lower than that. It's,
crying.
Well,
yes,
no,
I
it is.
I would cry too.
No, it's the grassy. No, look, maybe for you, but for me, it's the grassy knoll.
Grassy
and
knoll.
they support the grassy knoll that make the flowers grow.
Yeah.
It's the bottom five.
That's where
the
the
GG.
second shooter was.
It's
the
the whole,
grassy
and
knoll.
it's the hole in one.
Yeah.
It is the hole in one. It is
Yeah.
all pun taken. All right. So I'm going to let you
Do what?
give a monologue about some news things, and I'm going to
Okay.
go ahead and interject what I feel.
All right.
So you go ahead and do your little monologue. Because usually when we do the monologue, you're on before me.
That's right.
I give you 5-10 minutes, and you go in and do the monologue.
Yeah.
But since we don't have us, so I'm here. We get us both on.
Mm-hmm.
You do a monologue, and I'll sit here, and then I will and I will tell you what I
Boy,
think.
was it hot today.
I will tell you what I think. Okay.
Okay, well, let's
right.
hear. I didn't. Well, of course, the big news is the overturning of Roe v. Wade, and now abortion is illegal in America. Hooray! Hooray for the Republicans! They
Well-
worked 50 years for this, and all the religious nuts.
I can tell you why.
And,
I can tell you why, but go
all
ahead.
the old ladies.
I
They got their way.
I can tell you why, but go ahead, and
Yeah.
then I'll interject.
Well, that's why Donald Trump is now considered their greatest president of all time, because he promised that he would do it in the debate with Hillary, if you remember, and that he was going to pick justices, and he picked
There
3 of them
you
in
know
4 short
where I
years.
was going.
He picked in 4 short years.
Because when Obama was trying to get Garland
Mm-hmm.
in and couldn't do it,
Yeah.
you know where I'm going.
Mm-hmm.
Obama was told he couldn't do it until the election. Trump got this lady, I forget the lady's name.
Barrett.
Huh?
Oh,
Barrett. Yeah, Barrett. He got Barrett in real fast.
Right at the end of his.
And he was told he had to wait till the election, but no. He had to wait till the election,
Oh.
but no. He got her in before the election.
No, actually, I mean, if I must say, he picked Gorsuch, and then the lady came right at the end of his presidency. I think even after he
I'm
was
talking
lost
about
the
the lady.
election.
I'm talking about the lady.
The lady
the
Barrett,
Christian,
yeah.
the devout Christian lady.
The Catholic, yeah.
Well,
and
yeah.
And then Gorsuch Kavanaugh was in the middle of.
Well, I'm not
those
talking about
three.
Kavanaugh. I'm talking about Barrett. Seems to be the one that I'm talking about.
Gorsuch would have
Barrett
gotten
was the one, right?
Merrick Garland, and then the other two replaced.
I don't quite remember the name. I don't know why
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's Barrett.
But it's Barrett. It is
Okay, so Barrett is what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Now, she got it. She's
I was already right.
She's the latest one.
I was already right about that.
You
yeah.
were right about it, but
Yeah.
but it was actually Gorsuch that replaced Merrick Garland. That was right at the end of Obama's thing, or the beginning of Trump's thing. But
Well,
at the end of Trump's thing,
Garland never got.
It was
Garland never got in.
Garland's the Attorney General.
Garland never got it in. So.
And
yeah.
I hope as the Attorney General, he just throws the book at all those chumps that were in the January 6th uprising.
Well,
But sadly I think the Democrats may just drop the ball again on, because these hearings are great as far as learning how these guys tried to sabotage bringing down the country, and then they said, well, we might prosecute them. No, the whole point is to prosecute them. These guys were seditionists.
Well, the way I see it is, you're going to have. This is going to be the beginning of more to come. And when I say the beginning of more to come, it's going to be a situation where if we don't take control over, because the Dems will be the ones to be the fall guys. The Democrats will be the fall guys. And I keep saying this till I'm blue in the face. Well, I've been saying this lately. Yeah. There's different ways of skinning a cat. If we don't get control of the gas prices, and if we don't get control of the food prices and the gas prices, and get control of this so-called inflation, because dare we say, we are in a minuscule or a mini inflation, and if it gets any worse, or if it stays the same course, the Dems will not get a second term. And I don't believe that's what we want. Well, I know that's not what I want, but then again, I have become, there are a lot of things the Dems are doing that I don't necessarily agree with, and I've told you some things so I'm kind of like in the middle. There are some things the Dems are doing that I don't agree with, that they keep on bringing up this Black Lives Matter. Look, Black lives do matter, but all lives matter as well. I'm tired of this crap about we need to pay reparations. Look, God love you, but we don't need what happened. If anybody needs reparations, it's the American Indian.
Well,
The American Indian needs reparations. I'm not paying for something that my ancestors did many years ago.
Your
Sorry about
ancestors? Yeah. My ancestors lived in Ireland.
Well, I'm just saying. Well, ancestors in Italy
Russia
and the
and
Romans
Germany.
and hell, maybe we should, maybe I don't know, maybe. Whoa, you see that's happened before.
No, we just. That's
Well, that's happened before. It's the
Hope you enjoyed that.
Yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. But yes, no, with no reparations whatsoever. I mean, maybe we should owe Jesus reparations. I think, man, maybe us Romans and us Italians.
There was no United States when Jesus.
We should owe
lived.
Jesus reparations or preparations or whatever you want to call it. Okay.
He.
Okay.
There was no. No, Jesus did fine for himself.
Jesus
He was a
loves
carpenter.
me, this I know, for the Bible done told me so.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
He loves me, and I love myself. That's the main thing.
Yes.
So,
That makes one of us.
well, it makes all of us, because on Jismas, they come from miles and miles away to worship me. When the baby Gigi was born, it was the secretary, it was the stewardess, and the seamstress. You know the story, read the book.
Mm-hmm.
The seamstress sewed Gigi a little stocking cap.
Yeah.
The secretary did some heavy dictation to baby Gigi, and the stewardess gave some Gigi some breast milk because Gigi was a bottle-fed baby. So these three women were vital parts of Gorgeous George and played a big role.
There's no baby formula now.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
that's all right.
Well, I think that's part of the problem is that you talk about inflation, is everything's up now. There's even the Dollar Tree is $1.25.
Right.
And but I tell you one thing that's good that's going on right now is that the job market is great. There's supposed to be 2 jobs for every person. So if you have this brother-in-law that won't get a job, there's plenty of jobs out there he can get. He can't just say, "Oh, it's a pandemic," or my finger hurts. I have a cut on my finger. No, he can get a job.
Well, you got people though that are getting unemployment. They're making more money off of unemployment than they are actually working right now. More people are benefiting from unemployment than they are actually working.
Well, that was during the pandemic.
Well, they're
when
still
everything- they're not still.
They're still kind of doing that too.
Well, I mean, no, they
Yeah.
actually put an end to that. They actually put an end to that like a year ago, more than a year ago.
I don't know all that, but I just still. But I mean, people are still getting their. I mean, there are people that are still benefit. I mean, I don't know what you would. I mean, this is what and it has nothing to do with not listening to the wrong news channel, but there's people out there. That
you heard it on that?
No,
on
no,
that
I
channel?
heard it. No, no.
It's on the Evil Empire.
No, there are people that are still benefiting upon that.
Yeah.
So
Well, they'll never. Fox News will never.
Well, I'm not talking about Fox News. I'm talking about.
Fox News is still saying all lives matter, like you said. They're also coming in their pants a circle jerk over Roe v. Wade being overturned.
Okay, well,
so,
let's break it down because my word is final. When I say all lives matter, I mean all lives matter. Why? We are America. We are America. We all have endured our own private hell. We've only done our private hell. We've all been through it. So, rather than trying to exclude or why don't we include, not exclude, but include, and let it be known that basically that it's not just one demographic or one race or color. It's everybody. We're all in this. Everybody.
But black people are unfortunately singled out in police. Now, when the police stop you for a traffic incident or something, you're speeding or you're making a wrong U-turn, believe it or not, white people don't really worry so much about that. They say, "Oh, I'll get my ticket and go to court and all this." But black people think that if they make one false move, all the guns will come out, and it does happen. So that's why they say black
according to
it's a police and a black thing. Yeah.
It's circumstances. It's according to where you're at, where you might be, ever the place of being in the wrong place at the wrong time, or being in the right place at the right time, being in the wrong place at the wrong time. It's all upon that. I think that, there are cops, you got bad cops and you got good cops. The bad cops will obviously do that. The good cops will play by the rules. What you're going to say about all that? I mean, it's not much
Cops
I'm going to
are.
say
Let me
that.
tell you about the police.
Look, I'm going to tell you something. It's a job that I wouldn't want. I would not want to be a police officer. I wouldn't want the job.
Let me tell you about police. I mean, people talk in rosy hues about the police, but the truth is, when most, even white people have encounters with the police, they're not usually happy ones. We're usually getting a ticket. No. We're usually told. We're usually being arrested. We're usually being taken away in handcuffs. We're usually scared if a cop is following us. So when people say, "Oh, I love the police," well, the police are great when they come to your rescue, of course.
Well,
but for the most part, for the most part, you're on your own. So that's why.
Well, there's a lot of bad ones out there. There's no doubt about it. There are a lot of white. There are a lot of bad ones out there that are wet under the collar, and they got an attitude, and they have an attitude that they got to prove how bad they are and whatnot, and what the authority they have because they have a badge. You take the damn badge off, and
Well,
and then you're just like a normal person. They put the pants on the same way. You take your badge off, and you're just like everybody else. I'm not saying that, but there are good ones and there are bad ones. There are good ones, there are bad ones, just like there are federal judges that are good ones and bad ones. And we already know about a bad one. We already know about a bad one in the Virginia Circuit Court, Federal Court. I don't need to get any further than that one. And we also know there are good lawyers and there are bad lawyers. There are good doctors and bad doctors. They're quacks. So with any profession, with anything that you do, you have good, bad, and indifferent. And baby, when you have me as your gynecologist, baby, when you spread them legs for Gigi, spread your legs for Gigi so I can operate. When you know you've been a bad girl, Gigi will take care of it, good, bad, or indifferent. And if you want to label Gigi as the bad boy, ladies, is the one, which is Gigi, that will, operate and give you a full examination to your benefit.
Yeah. Yeah.
What
you should put an ad on Craigslist.
Well, who's to say that I haven't? Who said that I haven't? I'm having a bad hair day. I hate it.
What's your problem?
I'm so vain, and I'm so vain. I don't like this bad hair day. I don't like to have a hair sticking. It's got to be just right. The mullet.
Well, I thought you had.
I know it's the mullet, and and I got to have every hair in place. The follicles of my nose, the hair put in a certain way, my pubic hair in a certain stance, ready to fight another day. And that pubic hair definitely blends in with that actually knob, because it goes right in for free parking, and it's good, safe spot. It is good up the uprights.
You know what they say about women's pubic hair? They're all different, but they're all the same in one way. They're always parted in the middle.
Parted in the middle. Strum your tune for Gigi. Strum Gigi a little tune so he can be happy.
Now also, and I was talking about the police and you gotta they're just so ecstatic now that they've waited 50 years to overturn Roe v. Wade, and now people are gonna, especially out in the redneck states, they're gonna have a hard time. Anyone who wants to end a pregnancy or that gets raped.
The pro-lifers, and the people that are
bunch of nuts.
Well, I see some of what they say, and I see some of what the other people say. Well, hold on a second. It is perplexing. It is hard because the pro-lifers don't want, living life, live and let live. as the song, by McCartney and Wings, Live and Let Live, and Guns N' Roses, and then Live and Let Die. But maybe that's that's probably a bad. But I understand that people are pro-lifers that want living things to live. It's a living thing, let it live. But there are extenuating circumstances surrounding the fact, such as incest, such as rape and incest,
that is why it should be still legal.
And retardation, which some people would accept the child being that way, and some people would not accept the child being that way. But the key precursor is if it's already formulated in the body, if the fetus or if the baby is alive and kicking, Simple Minds, by the way, if the baby is alive and kicking, which I'll be doing that song of the karaoke bash, but if that is if the baby's alive and kicking and it's there and it's already formed itself, then you don't abort that.
Well,
but if it is something where you've been looked at and pre-known, then yes. Now, is it alive and kicking, and is it out of incest, alive and kicking out of rape or incest? We
should let it be born.
It's a slippery slope.
No.
It's a slippery slope. If it's
no, abortion should be for every. Of course there are these exceptions.
If it's
and everything.
before it created,
it should
yes,
be.
And if it's in the body and formulated, probably not. Now,
then how come you can't
under normal circumstances, unless it is deformed, retardation, incest, or rape, then it's extenuating circumstances per situation.
So all retarded people should be euthanized or aborted. No, I'm saying it's one. It's all or
gray
nothing.
matter. It's gray matter.
People talk about rape and incest, but the truth is most abortions are not. They're not rape. It's a woman's choice, and a woman should continue the choice.
But it's still considered gray matter just the same. Because, look, if I'm the man and I planted the seed, then you, damn it, if you don't want that child, I might want the child. So let it come out and bring it to daddy.
Guess what? A man has absolutely no say.
Well,
Tom Brady tried to get his first girlfriend to abort the baby. I think Kevin Federline tried to get his girlfriend to abort before he married. These guys had pregnant girlfriends when they got married to somebody else. And thus... you might say, "Oh, Tom Brady's a terrible guy," or Kevin Federline's a terrible guy. But the truth is that they had nothing to do with it.
The woman should have played, but if the man who is the if the man is part of it, the man should also have some say because he created. It takes two to tangle. She doesn't want it, then give the rights to the father.
And no, in other words, the father should be like a seahorse, and he would carry the baby to term in 9 months.
Well, it's impossible.
That is exactly my point.
But it's impossible. But still,
the woman.
If it's if it's kicking, I understand where these pro-lifers will have an argument. So it's not. Look, it's a tough call either way.
The baby.
But I understand if the pro-lifers, if it's the baby is kicking, you kind of want to, and just their adoption agencies and their adoptions agencies. So that's that. But then I get it. The woman should have the call. But then who's to say that? But it's not fair to the father too.
Who cares about the father?
Well, listen.
The father's a sperm donor. What if he was just came in a test tube?
Listen. It's the
same thing.
It's in the woman, yes. She should have some say, but the father should have some say also. And if the woman doesn't want it, then just be a surrogate or just say, hey, here it is.
Do you know the majority?
Here it is.
Do you know the majority of women getting abortions are married? They're not, single teenagers. They're and it's because they've had like maybe 3 kids and they don't want anymore.
I don't
The other thing is that
know
most
the statistics.
abortions
I don't
and
know the
most
statistics.
abortions. Oh, I know statistics. And let
No
me tell you
statistics?
something.
Okay.
And most abortions are not
You've been
done.
cramming the numbers?
I know.
Okay. You're cramming the numbers?
I know
Okay.
all
Yeah,
of
the
this.
statistics. Oh, you do?
You're,
Oh, yeah? Okay.
you're talking to the vault here. Let
The
me tell you.
statistics? Okay, yeah, go okay. So, I mean, you're
Yes,
on
I
there.
do know
You
this.
do
And let me
know?
tell you
Okay.
something. Most abortions are from the pill, the morning after pill. I shouldn't say the pill.
Okay.
And actually, I think you talk about a slippery slope by banning abortion in America. Next up is banning contraception, banning the birth control pill, banning maybe even when I was living in Ireland, you couldn't get condoms. It wasn't until the AIDS crisis that you could get it because there you had a backward
Well,
religious
Wait,
theocracy like
Well,
America
you're going to
wants.
ban condoms and you're going to have bareback and you're going to have kids everywhere.
And welcome to Ireland.
Well, no, I'm
Welcome
saying,
to Ireland in the 1980s.
well, I'm saying that the reason why you wear a condom is because you prevent, you prevent that. So rather than doing any other thing, so then you're going to have like bareback and a bunch of kids everywhere, and
Yes.
it's dare you say it's the Waltons all over again, right?
Exactly.
It's the Waltons. So-
well, okay, the Waltons is a good or any
Okay.
you probably in
Or
your
A's
family
Enough, or whatever,
in your
you know.
family in my family are like maybe our grandfathers or great grandfathers, they were like one of 10 children, or my grandfather was one of 16 children, and this is in Ireland. And I mean there was no birth control. I mean it didn't even exist really.
Right.
And the condoms only came in the serious play as it was during the AIDS crisis when they found out that it could prevent the spread of HIV,
Okay.
and that's when Ireland finally had that. Now Ireland has abortion because of the Catholic Church scandals. They lost all faith and said these single celibate men are telling us how to live, and they're like buggering
Well,
little children. So
And then there
people
are
lost
times
faith.
when the condoms need to be used for people that shouldn't even be, there are condoms that should be used on some cases where there are people that should have not to be eliminated, because of their mentality,
Well,
who they
that's-
are. Yeah. So.
Well,
Yes.
well, okay. Now, as far as abortion goes, let's be serious. When someone is born, when the baby is born, that's not the time to abort them. That's not the time to kill them. But it's up to that point, and a woman should have a choice, I think. And you might say rape and incest, which is a very good reason to have an abortion. But at the same time, you have to have it all, and you can't make choices. Or everybody was going to claim that they were raped, or
And that's kind of
and those
true.
are crimes. So then you talk about men.
but-
Men would go to jail for that if they're unfairly accused of that.
But what I'm saying is you have to look at it from both ends. I understand the argument. No, I understand the argument. I might not necessarily agree on every aspect of it, but I see it. I mean, there is a legitimate argument there going to be made. Live and let live, live and let live. But like I said, slippery slope is the word. Slippery slope. I mean, the woman usually is the one because it's inside of her body, but usually the man doesn't have any say. The man should have some,
Exactly.
but the man should have some say.
Well, maybe if he's a husband.
Well,
he
I'm
might
just
have to say.
saying.
But that
I
doesn't-
know that if I
But a boyfriend,
impregnate-
a one night stand. What
if
say
I
does that?
impregnate a woman,
Yeah.
I might want to have that because I want a child. I'm 53 years old.
So you're going to raise the child by
Well,
yourself.
Why not?
and tell the woman.
What I'm saying is, if she doesn't want the child, well, I want the child because I want to be the daddy. Okay.
You want a child.
And
you want
I
to raise
am,
a child.
when
There's a
I
big
am-
difference.
Well, I am the baby maker. Okay, I'm the baby maker. There are a lot of women out there that haven't told me yet, and I'm still waiting to hear.
They would have told you by now.
They haven't told me. I'm still waiting to hear. So, I mean, if the bear shits in the forest, did he actually shit? Well, maybe to that aspect, he didn't. But when Gigi rolled in the hay, and when Gigi inserted his sperm, inserted the sperm into the uprights, into the knoll, the grassy knoll, into the hole, there's a good possibility that Gigi was the father. Even though that Maury told Gigi many times that he's not the father, it's a good possibility that Gigi might have been the father of their said child.
sperm. Yours.
My sperm.
You're
My sperm inside
like
of
Bill
all.
Clinton's sperm everywhere. Get on dresses on tabletops.
Gavin, have you? Do you watch porn, man? I'm telling
Huh?
you, you watch porn.
Not.
You don't watch
not,
porn?
Not anymore.
Well,
when I was a teenager
You're
and
a
I
liar.
couldn't get a
You're
girlfriend.
a liar. Everybody has watched.
I like the real thing better.
Well, listen, their thing they call voyeurs. Sometimes you have to be a voyeur. I don't like to be a voyeur. I don't like to be a spectator. I like to be a participant.
That's exactly.
But sometimes they're voyeurs. Sometimes you have to sit back there with your 3D glasses on there and get the 3D glasses and be a part of it. My favorite porn flick. Now check this out here. 4 different scenarios with 4 different women bosses, and they all talk bad to this guy. The guy takes the massage, takes the bob and the crystals. You see the crystals, so mesmerizing.
Yeah.
And she says, "Oh," and she says, "Now get down on all 4s." And she says, she tries to resist it. "Say yes, master." And she gets all 4s and says, "Yes, master." And she's very obedient and obeys because the crystals mesmerizes her and makes her want to please the man.
Now, who's is Seika in this film or Johnny Watt?
I don't know. I don't really. I'm just.
Or
saying.
you don't know who.
I just sit back with my.
If it's your favorite, I figure out who is.
Well, no, I think the girl name is Callie Callisopo. Is the one. Yeah, she's Callie Callisopo and Valerie Verne.
You know what's really upsetting? Those porn movies from the 70s. Almost a lot of the women are still alive, but like Seika and stuff. But the men are almost all gone. Ron Jeremy's still around, but the Johnny Watt is gone. Jamie
John Holmes.
is gone.
Yeah, John Holmes.
They're all. I mean, they didn't live very long. A lot of these guys.
John Holmes was. I don't know what he. But
it must be hard on your heart. Always, I think having a lot of orgasms probably stops your heart. Because I think your heart, you're like running.
Sex is the best thing that anybody.
Yeah, but those guys are having it like several times a day.
Well, I mean, look, I mean, isn't that what every man wants?
That's whatever. You want to know something?
Every man
they
likes
all
that,
die probably with a smile on their face.
Every man wants to have that sex with that woman, the woman that talks nasty and talks ill, and all of a sudden she's like putty. She talks ill and talks very nasty to that person, and she's just putty in the man's hands.
You mean like
that
his
is
wife?
Erotica. That is erotica right there.
Well, you mean a woman berates you and humiliates you, and you like that?
And then all of a sudden she's like putty. All of a sudden she's like putty, and she'll do what you want.
I think you've seen too much Taming of the Shrew.
No, all she wants to do is please. No, all she wants to do is please the man, and that's erotica. That's
Actually,
erotica.
you'd make a very good Petruchio in the Taming of the Shrew with Catherine. Yeah. And if you don't know the play, you could always see the musical Kiss Me Kate, which is the same story, sort of.
Okay. All right, I've never heard of that.
It's about the Taming of the Shrew is about a guy who this woman is just so mean. And he he marries her, and then he starts to be so nice to her, and then by the end she falls in love with him. I don't know if it worked today, but it's still a very funny play.
It's all behind the bobbit. It's all upon the crystallized thing that goes back and forth. We've done it on the show. We've mesmerized and hypnotized. We've made women bark like dogs.
When we used to have women on our show.
When we had women on our show. We take the bobbit, not Johnny Bobbit, but take the bobbit and roll it back and forth and mesmerize them, and they get all so excited. And that's the best way to do it. Get them excited and have them like putty, silly putty in your hands.
No.
Not to put in the cartoon and see a face on there, but the silly putty where it's just to melt like Jell-O.
Yeah.
With a little bit of salt extract.
Oh, wow.
Like that. Caesar, no, Caesar, please, no. Anyway.
Also, the inflation. You're talking about inflation.
Well,
inflation is getting so out of hand, and you were talking about gas prices. I was on
gas is still cheaper at Taco Bell. Even though it's gone up in Taco Bell, it's still cheaper at Taco Bell.
But it's not. The president any president has little say in the gas price. He could probably take off the tax to lower it, but that doesn't stop the oil companies and the OPEC countries from just really
let's play it for what it is.
The term we're over a barrel, that phrase means it literally means about the oil company.
What's happening in Russia is a problem, and supply and demand, that is a problem too. But we know because they go up in price, supply and demand, and what's happening in Russia is causing this problem. It's causing the problem to be at hand here. But
we get a lot of oil from Russia.
No,
because they do
the
supply
fact that they
oil.
are at war at it's like we call it, trying to overtake a country or overtake a province or whatever you want to call it, overtaking it and turning them back into the Soviet Union. We're trying to turn them into the Soviet Union, and what they're doing, there is a issue with that. So that is causing part of the reason why gas prices are high. Mm-hmm. It's part of the reason why gas prices are as high as they are.
Yeah.
That being said, this is in the Dems and the Democrats' ball.
They're getting stick for it.
And so if we don't do something, or if nothing is done, mm-hmm. and it pains me to say this, because it really pains me to say this, because I'm all about Joe Biden. I'm all about Joe Biden, and all of this crap about him is highly exaggerated. About him being senile and having dementia is highly exaggerated. But the man is pushing 80, or I think he is. He'll be 80 in November. 80 in November. And so you look at it for what it is. This might be not a second term for him, and God forbid, who's going to be the next president? Ted Cruz? That's the problem. And I'm afraid that Ted Cruz is going to be the one.
No,
that's what I'm afraid, because they're all
well, Ted Cruz will put his hat in the ring, but let me tell you, the scenarios that are going on. One is that the Democratic leadership is telling Biden, "Hey, Joe, that was great that you defeated that awful guy Donald Trump. You've done us enough. You don't have to run for a second term."
Okay.
And then there's a group of people that, like Kamala Harris and Pete Buttigieg, but they're still untested. Now listen, there's also the Trump people. They think Donald Trump. Now Donald Trump is actually, from what I've heard, Donald Trump is the best guy the Democrats could hope for to be the nominee, because Trump is the only Republican that might lose in the next election, because Ron DeSantis is sort of like Trump, but he's a lot smarter. He's a lot less corrupt, and he would be, and he could win in a landslide if he ran for president. For the Republicans,
to get control before the election in November in 22, before the House turned, the Senate and the House turned back to Republican. The Democrats have got to get control. Things have got to change now before November, or Biden will be, and dare I say, and it pains me to say this, Biden will be a lame duck president.
Yeah.
If things do not get better with gasoline, with the food, and with the cost of everything going up. Everything is going up. A pizza at 7-Eleven. I had a pizza tonight. A 7-Eleven pizza. Okay, and they're usually like under $10 or $11 pizza. I mean, like, are you fucking kidding me? These pizzas are not even good. They're just basic cheese pizza, and they're normally about $5, $6.
You should have gone to Little Caesars.
I understand, but then you get, and then it's $11. Things and prices going up, not just food prices going up in furniture, prices going up in supplies, and so Biden, this keeps happening, this keeps continuing, and this gets even worse and worse and worse for this to continue. And if it continues on with this, Biden will be a lame duck president. And so Biden needs to get control. And I don't give a damn of because if they try to put another person in there, then what you're going to do is you're going to alienate people that are supporters of President Biden. There might be, it might not, look, the stats will show right now there are not a lot of people. He's the lowest approval rating, even lower than Trump, because of whatever it's going on right now. But there are people that actually voted for Biden because he was the best candidate to defeat Trump and Biden.
And he did.
And he was the only candidate that the Dems had that could have defeated Trump, and it was proven. Bernie Sanders couldn't do it. Pocahontas couldn't do it. And Kamala Harris.
Fine woman.
Well, I don't know. Verdict's still out on that.
Elizabeth Warren.
Verdict's still out on that. But these people couldn't do it. Biden was the only one that could do it. Joe Biden was the only person that could have done it, could have beat him, and he did.
And he did.
So now, though.
Thank you, Joe.
Now, he's being looked at, and he's the one that's being attacked. He's being attacked more than Trump
Well, the president should be attacked.
More attacked than Trump is, and a lower approval rating because of what's going on.
Trump is not there anymore.
Yeah.
So.
But what I'm saying is, it's more so now.
Trump can do what he wants now.
It's more so now than it was before, because at least, and you give the devil his due, I mean, we had somewhat of a decent economy, which was inherited, but still of a decent economy, which was inherited, but still of a decent economy. And of course, now things just getting out of control. And why are they getting out of control? They're getting out of control right now because of certain things that are happening. Mm-hmm. Certain things that are happening within the House and the Senate. And again, and I've said this before and I'll say it again, as long as you have factions and as long as you have different people that might follow the same drum but don't necessarily drink all the Kool-Aid, you're going to have a divide in the parties. Our friend Bob Lynch was onto something way back when. Yeah. Back then, it wasn't going to happen. Now, Bob Lynch would be smiling from cheek to cheek because even though one person might consider themselves a Democrat, one person might consider themselves a Democrat, it is going to change because you're not going to drink all the Kool-Aid because you don't agree to everything the party is doing. Smart people with that. I don't agree with this.
The average person in America votes their pocketbook, and if the economy is doing poorly, they always vote that. They voted the first George Bush out because the economy was bad. They voted Jimmy Carter out because the economy was bad. They voted for the Democrats when George W. Bush had the economy fail on his watch. So and Obama got in. So so you always vote for the opposite. Now, certain things are.
I've never voted Republican. Have you?
Well, I'm not talking about you and me.
But I'm talking about because
I'm talking about people that depend on jobs and
there are people
and lower
that do.
prices.
But I've never voted Republican.
People with families.
Even though that I have always been a part of an even level, having checks and balances and whatnot. But in this case, checks and balances is going to be detrimental. It's going to cause problems for this.
Well, a single man can vote any way he feels like it because from his heart he could vote on social issues. But most families that have to pay school supplies and all that junk and food on the table for their kids, they don't like being taxed very highly. They don't like They don't like to see the tax money being spent so poorly. They don't like paying high taxes because it's money in their pocket. And we're not talking about billionaires, even though billionaires live that way. But I'm talking about working people, and they pay the brunt of taxes. And sus people, and they don't like inflation, and they don't like unemployment.
Well,
and I'm a single man. It doesn't matter if I work or not. It doesn't matter.
Well, it matters.
It
kind of does matter.
The gas prices go up
for me.
Because I don't.
Matters, but
Well, I'm saying that it's not such a big dent in my life like it would be if I had kids to put through college and stuff like that.
Well, like I said, there will be a divide in both parties.
A single man can do whatever he wants.
Right, but. That's true too. That's true. It's partially true. But the parties will be dividing in another 10 years, if not sooner, and due to what is going on right now, due to everything that's going on right now. So, hey, this is the way it is. The way I think it's going to happen. Mm-hmm. Be.
Yeah, but the Democrats, because the majority of people are pro-choice. We're talking about a few nut jobs that are in religion and on Fox and that follow Fox News and old people and stuff. They're against abortion and that will, because of the overturning Roe v. Wade, will help the Democrats in a few Democrats in the midterms.
We'll see what happens.
But almost everything else,
The
inflation,
key of the
is going
midterms,
against
the midterms.
Democrats.
If the Republicans take over the midterms, and that's the end of it. And nothing that Joe Biden is going to get accomplished is not going to get accomplished. I mean,
Joe Biden might pull a Bill Clinton and side and try to work a deal
And then
like he did with Newt and say,
I
okay,
understand that,
yeah.
but it's a different
And
time.
got reelected.
It's a different time and a different place right now.
Yeah.
Everybody's more sensitized, and everybody's sensitized and at arms with one another. The 90s were a different time. Right now, that probably could happen. If the Republicans take over, Biden might not. He will not get what he wants accomplished. And that's a hard pill to swallow. Because I'm pro Biden, but that's a hard pill to swallow because it seems like that's the way it's going to go.
But you're not
unless
gonna
something happens.
You're not going to support Biden if he just drives America into the ground, though. You will support.
I support Biden because I believe he's qualified. I support Biden that I still think he is qualified.
He was certainly
and he's getting a bad rap. That's why I support him. But I think, though, right now, currently, there's a lot of things behind the scenes that we might not understand. A lot of special interests that are involved in getting things done, and maybe Biden might not want to do certain things, but has to abide by the party to get the agenda of the resolve done. There's certain things. Well, I'm not going to even go there right now, but there are certain things that in the party that Biden might not be for, but he has to toot the horn to get that support.
From the Democrats or from
the people?
from
the people,
yes.
From the people? Yes.
Okay. When I say Democrats, I mean the progressive Democrats.
Prime example is a moderate versus extreme, or
he might
moderate
be the
versus
last
extreme.
Moderate Democrat we'll ever have.
He is the last moderate, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. He is the core of the last moderate. So I don't know about you, but then I will never vote Republican, but I have to rethink about the Democrat Party. And then I might not just vote at all. And because they say, well, if you don't vote, then whatever.
I would
vote. But what I'm saying is, I will never vote Republican because I know there are a bunch of teabaggers, and whatever. But the Democrats are becoming just as extreme as them, and so it's going to come to a point where people are going to be jaded and not vote at all unless there is a change. If they don't do something, it's going to happen that way.
I never thought America would go the way of Trump. I mean, I never thought he could ever win an election. I went to see Trump when he was running for president at a rally. This is before he was president, and they said, "Why did you go to that awful man's rally?" I said, "Because when I went to see him, there was no chance he would ever be president." And as it turned out, he did become president. And what I'm trying to say is, I kind of like stars and everything, and I never had a chance to see Donald Trump before. But let me tell you something. Mr. Biden is almost like you said, the last moderate Democrat. He's almost like the Dutch kid with his finger in the dike. Trying to keep everything from and he can't do it forever.
Biden has served his country well, close to 50 years in serving, and nice. So he loves his country.
We all so love
anybody that wants to attack Biden, well, look at yourself in the mirror. The man is doing the best he can. He has served his country for 50 years, and he's doing the best he can right now.
Yeah.
So respect the man and support the president. Support President Biden. That's the one I can say. That's all I can say.
Did Trump love his country?
I don't know what he loves. I have no idea.
He loves pretty girls.
Well, don't we all? Don't we freaking all do? I'll tell you what. Now, it is a brand new. So we've done 3 shows now. We don't have the you and I have done 3 shows. Yeah. I know you've done other stuff with the other guys. I don't count them.
My head spins. All the shows
I know you do those shows. I don't count them.
I'm like Regis Philbin. I'm on so many shows.
Because we know that this is the basis of comedy.
Yes.
God bless those people, but you and I, this is the base of comedy right here. So we don't have to spit it 7 days to Sunday. You know damn well as well I know that this is what puts you on the map.
Yeah.
This is what got your name
On Google.
on the map.
On
Well,
Google.
yeah, for better or
You
for
put
worse.
my name on Google, the first thing, the drop-down menu is gorgeous Georgia.
Yeah, for the worse or for better, but still there, still a part of what we do.
Then after that comes rich, and then good-looking. But the first thing is gorgeous Georgia.
Yeah, well, that's what it is. And you don't want to know what's about me.
Short.
You don't want to know about me, or the stuff that's been on me, but that's a different horse of a different color. We're
Yeah.
not get into that. But we said I'm not, and we keep my word to that. But anyway, but it is what it is. We are coming into the month of July. And when July comes, July is a great month. Karaoke extravaganza. You got to keep it hush hush. But the people out there know exactly where it's at. They're on Facebook. We are asking you all on Facebook, come and be a part of the extravaganza. The Gorgeous George birthday party, July 17th. Can't say where it's at, but if you're a part of Facebook and part of the fan club, you'll know exactly where it's at.
Tell them Kayla Czar sent you.
That's right. That's right, and do that. And
Will there be any food there?
there will be food.
Peanuts and popcorn.
There will be food. There'll be some Cracker Jack. And the Cracker Jack will be prepared by the people, the minions that come in there that have used the restroom. The ones that have used the restroom, they will prepare the Cracker Jack and make it stick.
Will there be any games like charades or picture
Pin the tail on the jackass. Kevin, you want to be the jackass?
If that's the case, I'm not coming.
You want me the jackass? We pin the tail on you. I'm sure you like that, won't you? We just twirl you around in a blindfold.
In a blindfold.
And then you just go ahead and stick it up there.
I get to pin the tail. Okay.
Well, no,
don't
I
mind
mean,
that.
you might be dizzy. You might stick it on yourself.
I once played. That was one game I never liked as a kid.
Yeah.
At birthday parties because I never won at it. I always stick it between his forehead or something.
Okay.
Well, I mean, but we didn't use a real jackass. We just had a poster of one.
Right. There you go. So that's what we've got going on. July is the holiday month. July is a holiday month. So come and enjoy the festivities. Come and enjoy the scene. Be a part of it.
Yeah.
Inhale it. Breathe it. And be a part of. That's what I say. Pretty much.
Bring your Aquavelva.
That's right. That's right.
And your Brill cream.
Yeah. So that and other things going on. Anything else in the news that we need to kind of mention about? I think we've maybe.
Oh well, we the hearings are going strong, but the problem with the hearings, and they are compelling television.
Oh, January
but
6th.
it's basically just a
6th.
commercial for the Democrat Party, and they're basically saying, if you want the Republicans to win the midterms, or you want them to win the next presidential election, please pay attention to what they're capable of when they don't win an election.
Right.
They have no problem. I mean, these insurrectionists have no problem living in a fascist dictatorship.
Or insurrectionists or.
But they have they have no problem
The
overturning a. I mean, everyone voted in the election, and then they said,
And they had an erection. They had an erection after that.
Well, Mike Pence, a guy. We never thought he would be the savior for democracy, but Mike Pence actually, when given a chance to do what's right, he did what was right.
What did he do? Did he drop his pants?
He did not do what Trump said.
Oh, okay.
And then all those guys with the in the camouflage and the beards and those weekend those drugstore warriors, they all said they all wanted him dead. They wanted Nancy Pelosi and AOC dead.
That is amazing to me how they would turn on their own.
And they got away with it.
It's amazing to me and how they would turn on their own. That's crazy. Absolutely.
Well,
crazy.
no, he is actually. If you know anything about warfare, the people who are on your side and betray you are worse. You treat worse than your supposed enemy. I'm sure. Now Mike Pence, his career in the Republican Party is nil now.
Right.
You think he'll ever run for president? Usually the vice president does run for president. I don't see him running. I mean, he can run, but I don't see him going for it, because they'll always bring up, you had a chance to overturn the election for our beloved
Well,
Fuhrer,
but why would
Donald
you
Trump.
do something that you didn't believe in doing? When you, even though you are follow with something, why would you do something you don't believe is right? I mean, that doesn't make any sense.
Well, it's very important to note that all those guys that are testifying now, and all these, like, I don't know, I don't think Mike Pence is there, but a lot of these people that we know in the state legislation in Georgia and stuff like that about, and they're all Republicans, and they probably all voted for Trump, but when Trump told them I need 11,000 votes or something, they did the right thing and said, no, I'm not going to just to have you win. I'm not gonna. I have I have ethics. I have to look at myself in the mirror. I have to sleep at night.
Right.
And I can't do this. But the sad part is that there's.
Just having a conscience. I mean, pretty much having a
But you're
conscience
also
and knowing
have to follow by
the
the
difference
book.
between what's wrong and what's right.
But that's the problem with a lot of people, and certainly a lot of politicians, is they don't know what's right. They are unethical when it suits them.
Okay.
So don't ever be that guy. You always. What's the old saying? Always do what your parents. Always act as if your parents are around, even when they're not around.
So 28 years, 25 years for you, 28 years of the Gorgeous George show. Are we going back to a studio? What is going on? A website?
so.
Are we going back to a studio? I don't know.
What room in your mansion is this?
Yeah.
I
Or
love your art over here.
yeah, it's
It's a Kincaid painting here.
yeah, and then we got the Van Gogh also too. Got the Van Gogh back there. Yeah, don't take it off the wall.
Safe behind here. Did you?
Well, now we don't tell the people. We don't tell the people. But hey, listen, do me a favor.
Yeah.
And grab that lovely book, if we would. That book
Oh, wait a minute, it's right here.
It's right here? Okay, I got it. Don't fall down. And in case you've been under a rock and you've been not knowing what time it is, what is causing all this is the book. What is causing all this? Now, I'm going to say this. You can get it on Amazon, the paperback, for $29. It is a movie, okay? It is a movie, pretty much ready to go on the big screen. It is a book. This book is about the man that is causing this wonderment to all the ladies. The man better known as Gorgeous George, local entertainer in Richmond, Virginia, that hosts public access program for more than 20 years. Entertainer, businessman, and entrepreneur. Keyword: businessman, entertainer, and entrepreneur. It doesn't matter. Shut your mouth. It doesn't matter what you might think.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what the naysayers think. This right here says it all. This says you can call me anything you want to call me and everything you want to call me. This says Arthur. This says published by the ISMB code on the bottom.
Yeah.
So if you're lucky enough to have this book in your possession, then consider yourself blessed, because not only are you seeing the man that's causing all this, you're getting to hold a book that will be worth a lot of money in years to come.
It'll
And
be
it
such a
says,
rare book.
I am Arthur, and I and ISBN, shut your mouth. ISBN on the back means it's published. And it also means it will be put in bookstores such as Barnes and Noble. What about them apples?
They should sell it at
So
Starbucks.
it doesn't matter, might be, but it doesn't matter what naysayers think. Because the naysayers, I got two words for you. Two double words for you right there.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, because this has been a labor of love, and people are purchasing the book. That's all that needs to be said. Period.
Listen, if you're not sure about Gorgeous George, I would buy the book and read it.
Yes.
And if you hate it, that's fine. But if you like it, you might get more of an appreciation
All
for
right.
George.
All
But if you
right.
really don't like George, then it's your choice to tear it up, to check the oil in your tank, and you could use it as toilet paper. You could do anything you
When is Kay Lazar doing his book? The fans want to know, when is Kay Lazar doing his book?
But if you don't like George, buy the book.
What I'm saying is, I'm hearing it from both ends. When is Kay Lazar doing his book?
Nah,
When is Kay Lazar doing his book? Here,
I'm just appearing in other people's books lately.
call me anything you want to call me. Just call me an Arthur, not King Arthur, but an author of a published freaking book.
Here, here.
Birthday Bash is on its way. Karaoke Birthday Bash. I didn't say karaoke or karaoke. I said karaoke Birthday Bash. Learn to love it, because I am the best thing that's going today. I have more to come, more to say, and I am going to continue doing a public service announcement for every fan that worships me. Everybody out there, you need a little truth. I am the barometer of the truth. Believe it or not.
Thanks for having me on your show.
We will
Yes.
be. I am what's causing
I'm looking forward.
all of this, since the Birthday Bash coming up, and cause the book says so.
Mr. Author, I'm looking forward to seeing you on Author Card Game. Pick your own card.
Ciao, Bella.